Hello, hello. It is day 9 of the 11 days of cold process Christmas, and it is another chilly, rainy day at the ranch. But it is Friday, so I'm rocking my red for Red Friday. And today we're going to talk about what we don't do. So, I've talked about all the crazy things that I add to soap, what it does, how it looks. But what I haven't talked about is what are some things you might want to avoid putting into your soaps? Because ingredients matter. And just as much as things can enhance your soap, things can also make it go a little wonky. Things like, yes, I put creosote or orange peel into my soaps, or even loofah, right? Loofah is a plant. But none of those are ever fresh. Everything is dried. The orange peel is dried and crumbled. The creosote is dried and crumbled. The loofah is dried and cut into pieces. So you don't ever want to use a fresh plant because one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to rot in your soap or it's going to mold in your soap. And neither one is soap you want to use. Something else that you want to keep in mind is extracts. Vanilla extract, almond extract. Awesome for baking. Use extracts all the time. Soap making? No, thank you. So, those are all an alcohol base. And what can happen with an alcohol base is that it can actually make your soap seize. So, it's going to clump up and it's not going to go super well as far as mixing things in. Something else that you would want to consider as you're going through food coloring. Now, I use mica powder colorants. My favorite is Mad Mica's. But you don't want to use food coloring for two reasons. One, think about when you make those really amazing Christmas cookies and you have the food coloring in the frosting, or you have an amazing cake for your birthday, and then everybody laughs because you have purple lips and purple teeth and purple gums. That's because food coloring can stain. So what's going to happen when you put that into your soap? Well, one of two things, or both. One, it's probably not going to actually mix in. It's going to stay in little tiny droplets. So your soap should still saponify, you should still harden, you should still have a bar of soap, but now you've got these little drops of dye. And then you're going to put that on your hands, on your body, and then you're going to have these really cool streak marks of whatever color you put into it. So that's another one to skip. Let me think. Anything else that I try and stay away from? Those are some really big things that you want to look out for. Don't ever use something that isn't approved for use on the skin. That, don't substitute one thing. Like, there's lye that we use for soap making, and then there's drain cleaner, and drain cleaner has other additives. Like, make sure that what you are buying, what you're purchasing, is what's intended for soap use. If you're just getting started, buy a small amount of oil because oils can go rancid. So you don't want them to go bad before you can use them. And you could still make soap with bad oil, but you're not necessarily going to have a good soap bar. So those are all things to kind of keep in mind. There's more on the list. Those are just things that are pretty common ones that I hear or get questions about. I think for me, the biggest one is plants. You want to make sure that they're dried. And if you're going to add something like aloe, you want to make sure you do it the right way. So research, shoot me a question if you are a beginning soap maker and just aren't sure. There's tons of amazing videos. Anne Marie from Brambleberry is an excellent resource. She's the first person that I ever started watching making soap when kiddo wanted to learn how to soap make. So that's that's where I got my start. I had kind of learned soap making before that, but when kiddo, questioned me years ago about, well, why does my bubble bath have so many chemicals in it? And I started learning how to really make soap because I wanted to do it for her. Anne Marie was an amazing resource for that. So for sure, just do your research, ask questions. You'll learn along the way. You'll ruin batches of soap. It happens, but just make sure you're checking the ingredients. Make sure that they are safe for the use that you're intending them for, and you will be able to make some beautiful bars of soap. All right. So I hope you enjoyed day 9 of the 11 days of cold process Christmas, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next one. Adventure awaits.